you know what, Neil?
No.
No matter how many times I hear this song,
Yeah,
it always cheers me up. Every single time, always cheers me up.
No,
So,
why? It's one of our first videos when we started.
Really?
Remember when we Lady Shore Abbey?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to get out of that puddle.
Yeah, I remember.
This was the music that was playing at the time.
So, Neil, remember we was watching Nick's Barney last night?
Yeah.
How funny was that?
Oh God.
I'm
The
just-
bloke's brilliant.
Before we start, Neil, before we put the old banner in and put the old little music on, I'm gonna quickly share, Neil. So
Go on then, Johnny boy.
I'm gonna, mate. I'm gonna. If you don't do it, Neil, you'll never get nowhere.
Well, it's
will
going to
you?
be worth it. We've got a great guest there, John.
We got a fantastic guest.
Fantastic guest.
Got bloody wet, kid.
Who lived in a pineapple under the sea?
What?
I can hear you.
who you been there? SpongeBob SquarePants. I think that'll do for now, kid.
Yeah, well, he's done one now, so I've done SpongeBob.
Yeah.
He's done
Where's he
one.
gone?
He's done one.
Where's he gone?
Oh, no.
Anyway, Neil.
Yeah.
People, welcome to Boozenboos.
Good evening.
Do you know what? We just had some gremlins in the machine.
Yeah.
Wayne has got a ghost trap on his table, and we just looked at the camera, and it vanished. but the ghost trap was still there.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, Jesus Christ, it works.
Would have been gobbled up there,
We did, yeah. We
Would
did.
have been gobbled up.
Anyway, welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to Booze and Booze. Thank you for joining the live now, and anybody who watches it later, you will differ us.
Here we go in the chat, John. Got Mr. Dead Cold,
Evening.
Kai Evans,
Howdy.
Kathy Gallagher,
Bingo.
Darliston Paranormal,
Nice one.
Trisha Angeles.
Snap.
And that's it at the moment. So
Brilliant. Yeah. Anybody got any questions for our Wayne? Throw him in. He's a plethora of knowledge, and he will answer them without a shadow of a doubt.
We've got a Facebook user, as we say every week, John, and I'm on at me, but
I don't.
we need to
Well,
know
I do.
somebody needs to know who you are because the name does not come up on
Yeah.
the old chatteroony.
And on that little bombshell, we are part of Paralytic Activities, and tonight's show we've got Wayne, Mark, Truman. Also, we've got Paranormal Ale, we've got a Paranormal Roundup, we've got Paranormal Room 101. Wayne's got a quick fire 10 to answer, and maybe a few little surprises along the way. We don't bloody know yet, 'cause we don't know where it's going to go, because normally it goes fucking tits up. But
Never mind, eh? We are no Anson Dick, am we, John?
No. But Neil, on that little call out then, right? Let me just find it here. We start the show with a paranormal hour because we are Booze and Booze and paralytic activity. So, Neil, what we got?
Right. Get rid of old Carp DM, John.
Oh yeah, I do that every time, don't I? I think I just get so enthralled in the music that I just forget it. You know what I mean?
That's the one. Right. Today we have Sorcery Session IPA.
And if you look at the ticker there,
Yes.
it'll tell you where it's from.
Sorcery. From Cafe of the Metro in Bilston.
Mm-hmm.
The best ale bar in the world, in my eyes, John. I ain't been to every one, but that is one probably my
You've only
favourite
been to one.
I've only been to one. But yes, absolutely fantastic nights there. A good beer festival, John.
Neil, pour it, please.
It is Sorcery, and it's from the Magic Rock Brewing Company. And
Nice.
I think it was Paul Daniels' favourite tipple, John, before he crouched it.
Really? Why's that
Yeah,
then?
I don't know. She says, think magic. Drink magic.
Okay.
That's their logo. So we've got to have something to do. You know.
Was that a Paul Daniels impression then? By the way?
Probably. Yeah, one a very good one. But it was a good one. it's only 3.9%. You know, which is a bit weak.
So well, here's one.
Still nice though.
Here's one I made earlier. Do not be blue, Peter.
Still nice. It is a nice drink.
Nice drop. Nice little session IPA there.
Oh,
Neil, give us a rating on the old ale scale, please.
It's a nice 4.4 out of 5, I reckon, John.
Not bad. That'll do for me. I can tell you that. Neil, we need to crack on because Wayne's in the green room. His lip is on. His makeup on. We're just going to do our little paranormal roundup now, and let me get it up here, kid. Neil, what you been up to?
You know what I'm up to, Johnny boy?
I do, Neil. I do.
Right.
That's why I asked.
I went to the casino on Saturday night.
Yep.
You know, I like a gamble, don't you, John?
I do.
But I've cut right down with my gambling.
Okay.
The only chips I had
I bet you ate.
I have, John. The only chips I had on the night were on my plate. and that's the first for me, you know what I mean? I did try me doing some on the casino, so I kept getting grease all over it. All the groupie out was very happy with me, like, you know. Anyway, talking of grease, John. I went to the doctors and they put me on these tablets.
Yeah.
And what it does, it's a slimming pill. And it's not working yet, but I've only been doing it this week. And it separates the grease from all the foods that you take in. And I know it's working because every time I go to the toilet, I can hear someone loving coming out my cat box.
Out your what box? Should I say your spirit box?
Probably, you know what I mean? But so our guest is the fabulous Wayne Mark Truman.
Yep.
He is a Captain Jack Sparrow character.
Nice.
Yes. And I bumped into my mate, John Roger.
Roger?
He's such a jolly fella.
Is he?
He is, John, honestly. He's pirate mad.
Is he?
He's even called his dog Plank so I can walk him every night. You know what? If we have to become pirates, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be little John Silver, couldn't you?
Why is that then?
Because you ain't very long, haven't you? And I could be Whitebeard or something like that, you know what I mean?
What, because you white hair?
Yeah, Whitebeard.
Yeah.
Pretty good double act, that wasn't it?
Would you?
Well, no.
And I think people have paid to watch that now, I ain't going to lie. You could probably get it on pirate DVD.
Probably.
Anyway, Neil, and everybody in the chat room, by the way, just thought I'd mention this. If you want to go and watch a good spooky video at a very haunted location, go and check out Paralytic Activities on YouTube. Smelly Baths. Go and check it bloody out. And our good friend Mark Boner, his video's on there from Chillingham Castle as well. Go and check that out. And if anybody wants a nice psychic night, check out Kay Maloney. Drop her a message and go see one of her psychic nights. Fantastic. And the last little plug before I carry on, if anybody wants to go on a paranormal event, especially at Wilder Hope or Winderhall Manor, Wednesday Paranormal have still got some tickets left. So check out Wednesday Paranormal on Facebook and message Russ Bevin.
Yes,
that's all the little bits out of the way, Neil. Neil, before I move on, because Wayne's there waiting. You'll never guess what's happened. You'll never ever guess what's happened, Neil.
Here we go,
Neil. I've only gone and had another review on my book. How about that? If anybody fancies a nice spooky comedy horror book, it's called The Halloweeners. It's by yours truly. It's on Amazon for £6.25. You can't get better than that. And every week I get these little celebrity kind of reviews, and I've had one, Neil. I've put my feelers out into Hollywood because Wayne's on the show. I've only got a review off the one and only Johnny Depp.
Oh, whatever.
I've got a review of Johnny Depp on this. I'm just gonna read it here, Neil. Just gonna read out this little review from the one and only Johnny Depp, Neil, and it goes something like this. I can't do the impression, by the way. I'm not very good, so I think I might just stick to my normal accent. I sound like one of the Peaky Blinders. Like a bottle of rum, I couldn't put this book down. Nothing better than reading John Smith's book, By My Secret Window. Johnny Depp. My mate, Ed Wood, also like it. The story grips you like a nightmare on Elm Street. I read it on my own, a bit like a Lone Ranger, if you know what I mean. I recommend John's book. It needs more attention. It needs to come out of the dark shadows. Do you know where I'm going here? I'm off now to refill my jar of dirt and finish off another mega point. Savvy. Neil, I've had a review on my book from the one and only Johnny Depp.
That's brilliant, that is, John.
Do you like that?
It is, yeah.
People go, I'm making it all up, Neil, but honest to God, I do not make this shit up. I don't.
I'm sure you run the local swimming instructor, John, Johnny Depp.
Neil, I just need to have a look at this. Get some thingies up. Bye. Okay, ready, Neil?
Yeah.
What they're saying? What they're saying in the old chat room, kid?
Well, Martin Lever, evening, fella. Did you manage to take a look at the episode on the Bossa Villa in Bridge North?
No, but I will do. Very busy lad.
Yes.
Very busy lad.
Carl Hodgson's on.
Evening.
Evening, Carl. It's a cracking read from Jack Nicholson.
Neil.
What?
Someone's trying to ring me. Someone's trying to ring me, Neil. I'm trying to, Neil. I'm trying to. Don't mess, Neil. Don't mess. Don't fuck it up. Right. I have got a surprise for Wayne. I've got a surprise for you all, really, to be fair. Like I say, I've been putting my little fingers out in Hollywood, Neil.
Yeah.
And I've only got... He's just answered, Neil. He's just answered. Hold up, Freddie, lad. Rockstead Freddie. I call him on my phone, Neil. I call him Rockstead Freddie. Now, Wayne tells me that he is a big Nightmare on Elm Street fan.
Oh, yeah.
So this.
So am I.
This. All right, Freddie, hold up. What you got to say, pal?
Wayne. Welcome to JB and Orange's Nightmare. I hear you sell collectibles. I have a glove that's worth collecting, if you catch my drift. I have someone here who I want you to say hello to. Come here, Jack. Me old mate. Why would I want to come anywhere near you? You tried to kill me and very nearly succeeded. Don't be a bitch. You were trying to steal my booze. Yeah, I just can't help myself, mate. But when you came to try and save Boo, you forgot one thing. And what's that? I'm Captain Jack Sparrow. Get the hell away from me before I split you in two. Anyway, Wayne, welcome to the show. Have fun now. Sweet dreams.
That was good, wasn't it?
Well, there you go. There you go, Neil. Wayne, there was a little video call of Freddy Krueger himself. How about that? I think he's in shock, Neil.
I think he's in shock as well.
Anyway, people, we're going to bring him in right now. He's ready. He's ready to go. Oh,
he's going to puffer spam.
Evening, Wayne.
I'm on fire!
I can't believe I managed to pull that off. I don't know. I ain't pulled anything off for a while, to be fair.
Liar.
I've seen the internet, mate. I know you're lying.
I must say, Wayne, actually having Johnny Depp and Freddy Krueger come through a video call, you actually sound a bit like Johnny Depp.
Who? Me?
Yeah.
I don't have a clue what you're talking about, mate. At all.
That's good.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Cheers. That's bloody strong. Whatever the fuck that is. Anyway,
Wayne.
How are you, gentlemen? Are you well?
We're good. Thanks for coming on the show, pal. There's quite a few people in the chat room, so anybody give us any questions, we'll pop them on the screen if you can read them. If not, we'll read them out for you. But first, can you just give us a really quick synopsis about yourself?
A synopsis? Does that mean a descriptionist thing?
Correct, Mundo.
Well, my name's Wayne Truman. I hail from the good old streets of Derbyshire. I run kind of three businesses in a way. One is the Captain's Cabin, which is movie collectibles, etc. The other business is building props and costumes. Yeah, like that. And the other one is characters for hire. We try and get them as movie accurate as we can. So everything from Star Wars to superheroes to horror, to obviously pirates and stuff like that. So yeah, we pretty much cover the whole spectrum of movies per se. So that's me. But I also have been working with good old Richard Felix from Derby Ghost Tours for the best part of 14 years on and off. Initially as his actor stroke event scarer. But now I've taken over the actual Derby City Centre Ghost Tours as well. So I'm a tour guide for Richard as well, which is really, really cool. It's nice that he's passed the reins on after all these years. So yeah, that's basically me in a little handbag.
Talking about your collectibles, Wayne, I think you've caught a ghost in your ghost trap.
Yeah, there is definitely something in there. Look, something in the neighbourhood. It's flashing away there. It's
What else you got on the table there, pal?
Got my old PKE meter there. So yeah, so good catching ghosts with PKEs. Is there anything out there? I won't go into that just yet, but there definitely is, especially in this shop. And then behind me, one of our new products, which is the good old the Ghostbusters Proton Pack, which pretty much does everything from play music, plays literally all the theme music from all the films. Even has an overheating mechanism and shoots out smoke and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, it's our new thing that came on the market only last week. So chuffed with that. Hence, I had to go and buy the suit.
Brilliant! It's fantastic. I can't wait to see that close up when we come over to Derby. Wayne, where did your passion for the paranormal start, pal?
Oh crikey! You're going back to when I was about 6 years old. And it wasn't just that I was interested in ghosts, it was the fact that I didn't really know they existed until I saw one. And it was in a midsummer's day in my back garden. And cut a very long story short, I thought I saw the bloke that owned the land next door, because it was an old bloke, crooked, with a big staff, and he was walking through like I saw a silhouette through the trees basically and heard the bracken snapping like the twigs as he was walking through. So I kind of moved the tree out the way and went, "Hello, mister," and there was absolutely nobody there. After that, I can't remember anything until my mum resuscitated me. I was over my mum's knee and she was helping me breathe basically, and she was like, "What the hell's gone wrong with you?" And I was my mum obviously thought I'd lost the plot. But then a year later, we were doing a school project on where, the history of where you live, which is something they don't really do in schools anymore, which is a shame. And where I used to live, which is a little village called in Peterborough, I found out from an old lady that lived in one of the oldest houses there, who's still got the World War II air raid siren in her back garden. And she pulled out a book, asked where I lived, and she basically went, "Oh, that's where the old battle was." I was like, "Pardon?" And she basically pulled out this history book, and where my house was built was an old battleground, kind of Saxon period. And when she flicked through the artist impressions of what it would look like, I kind of shocked and stunned, because what I saw in was exactly what I saw the year before in my back garden. It wasn't an old man with a large staff. It was a wounded soldier using his spear or pikeette or whatever you want to call it as a walking aid because he was injured. And it stuck in my head to that point. And from that day, I was kind of hooked on what happens, what is a ghost, and there you go. So I never really got involved much after that until I moved to Derby, and then the fateful day where I got offered a job working for Richard. But well, yeah, that's another story entirely, which I'll tell you in a bit probably.
Well, actually, that leads perfectly on, Neil. What does that say right there, my friend?
Obviously, Derbyshire with Richard Felix. Any para encounters you want to share, mate?
Loads. I mean, do you want me to start with how I got my job and then go from there? Yeah. I used to run a nightclub in Derby, and it was Halloween, and Ed Felix, Richard's son, used to do the Derby City Centre ghost tours, and we had spotted him on our CCTV, and he actually used to go behind our nightclub, which is called it's behind the old Jorrocks, if you the old Jorrocks. It's I forgot what the courtyard's called. My brain's gone. And basically, he walked round there, but I was dressed, funnily enough, as Freddy Krueger. So I ran out the back fire escape and jumped in one of the big paper skips and shut the lid. Little did I know that Ed stood right next to this bin to do his speech. So there he was, stood there doing his talk. And I waited for the opportune moment where I pounced out the bin, so the lid flew open and I came, and there were 48 people on that ghost tour, if I remember rightly. 28 of them ran off. 20 of them just stood there screaming, and the rest of them were basically just laughing their tits off. And then the funniest thing about it is Ed, son of Mr. Ghost himself, Richard Felix, that's been in the industry most of his life, hit the floor and screamed the immortal words, "Mummy,"
Really?
in front of everyone. So he came and found me afterwards, and obviously I wasn't in costume anymore. And he goes, I'm not a weirdo, but I've come looking for Freddy Krueger. And we all just laughed. And he looked at me and went, "It was you, wasn't it, you absolute git?" And I was like, "Yeah." And that was it. He goes, I need that. I need that on my tours. Can you do characters for us?" And I was like, "Well, funnily enough, you should say that, but that's what I actually do, is characters." So my job was born from that day forward. So yeah, I've been doing all sorts of wonderful things since then. As I said to you guys earlier on, when it comes to the ghost tours at the moment have changed quite a lot. Richard used to do a thing called the Big Ghost Hunts, which are basically massive events. I'm trying my hardest to get him back doing it again because they were brilliant. But they were big ghost events at places like Dudley Castle, Annesley Hall, Berkeley Castle, everywhere and anywhere. We went as far as Kinnity Castle in Ireland one year, which was just absolutely phenomenal. And it was my job to get stuck in the deepest, darkest regions of hell. So basically, if there was a pit where 1,000 bodies were found with the Black Plague, then Wayne, can you go down into that big hole, please, for the rest of the evening? And, when people come by, can you come and jump out at them and stuff? So, yeah, I've had quite a few experiences while being in these horrible places. But as I said again earlier on, most of my real experiences have been when I've least expected them. So, as I said, I believe when you go looking for ghosts, you won't find them. They will find you when they want to be seen or when they want to be heard. And again, there's an old saying I used to say, and I still do to this day: if you stand in the road long enough, you will get hit by a car. So the reason I've had so many experiences because I was doing this pretty much 7 days a week. It was a passion and a job. So some of it I could probably explain, because again, Richard taught me one very important lesson in the paranormal game, and that is always investigate the normal before you investigate the paranormal. And only when you can't find any normal reason why something's just happened, then maybe, just maybe, you witness something paranormal, then investigate it. And I live by that. I'm not one of these people that everything that goes bump in the night is a ghost. I'd really not. Do you know what I mean? So, ghosts, geez. Obviously, the first one that I had, the first one I had was obviously when I was 6. When I had that happen to me, I've literally in the shop right here where I'm sat now, there's shadows seen walking up and down the corridors. Footsteps are heard walking up and down. It's a mental place. This isn't even like on the haunted spectrum, but there's definitely something in this shop because I've seen it, I've heard it, I've witnessed it 1,000 times.
Well, we'll come back to that in a minute, Wayne. We'll come back to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Going back to when you jumped out the bin, as Freddy Krueger. I mean, if anybody just stands there and doesn't actually jump or run, I'd be surprised. I'd probably fucking shit myself, to be fair. You know what I mean? Especially in the middle of Derby. I've been to Derby and I was like,
yeah. Well, I had one of my own pranks backfire on me. But the interesting thing, it wasn't just a backfire. It was a prank that was backfired by an actual paranormal experience. So
Tell me more. Tell me more.
we used to do in the old days before the council jumped in and ruined everything, because they do that in Derby.
Yeah.
We used to go into the vaults, the underground tunnels, and I used to play a character that we thought at the time was made up. We called him Ratman. He was the old rat catcher of Derby. And he was cloaked, well, not cloaked, he was kind of hooded, he was dirty, and it really was real dirt. It was a filthy costume to wear. I stank. But we gave him like fake hands and everything. So people thought he was a mannequin. So they'd introduce him. It wasn't like he was hidden. They'd say, this is our mannequin of old Ratman. He's the old rat catcher of Derby, blah, 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 blah. And they'd go to light a candle that was jammed in his mannequin hand, of which when they did it, I'd on purposely drop it, which everyone would suddenly breathe, because then they all thought it is a mannequin. So they'd relax. And then the story would get to the part where we're on about World War II and the bombs drop in, and I would jump out and go boom like that. And then I'd do a bit of a talk as Ratman and scare everyone. But then one night, as Ed Felix was walking out of the tunnels, and I've half in costume, half out, and Ed turns around to me as he's walking towards me and says, that was a really good one, Wayne. That worked really well. And then over my shoulder, and I know this sounds like Scooby-Doo, but this is what I heard. Oh, here.
That was a good impression.
I know. And it was over my shoulder. Not only did I hear it, but I felt something. And I looked at Ed. I didn't look behind me. I looked at Ed, and Ed's face just went white and his eyes went wider. And he went, and I'll leave you with that one. And he turned away and left me in the underground tunnels on my own. Jeez. So I actually had like an actual experience down there myself. And then the most interesting thing about the Ratman character was, a few years into doing it, there was one particular woman, she got that scared, we actually had to go and kind of help her. We had to go and get her a drink of water and stuff. Are you all right? You know, she was, after she calmed down, we were really sorry. She goes, oh, it's not the Ratman that really got me. I thought that was brilliant. But I don't know if you know this, but my great, 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 great granddad was the old rat catcher of Derby. And how you describe him is exactly how he was meant to be. He was meant to be a bit of a recluse. He worked in all the underground tunnels. He was grumpy, he was vile, and he was dirty. And that was my great, 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 great granddad. So when you showed us this mannequin, I was like, help, it's great, great, great granddad. And then when the bugger jumped out at me, I thought he was coming to get me. He said, so it did. So it ended up, this made up character was actually a real person. So we kept him going for years and years. And obviously now, we're not able to, because good old Derby Council and their health and safety has gone through the roof. And now, oh no, you're not allowed to go down there anymore. So that's a shame.
Wayne, I'll tell you what, we've had that many guests on this show, and this is the first time I haven't said a word for 10 minutes. And that right now.
Yeah. It's nice. Really nice.
It is.
It's nice, Wayne.
I told you I could talk. I'll shut up. Go on.
Before we carry on, Wayne, I just want to ask Neil a question. Neil, who is this?
I don't know.
I do. Now we have a person we've known for years in the paranormal field. He's a brilliant medium. He's fantastic. He's from Liverpool, and he's always late to the party. He always says hello as we finish, and he's actually joined on time. It's Mr. Gary Fieldsdale.
How do you know?
I can tell by his emojis.
Seriously?
He always puts an eagle and he always puts a wizard.
I don't know that.
Yeah, Neil. So there you go. So moving on from Derby Jail, Wayne. You do the Derby ghost tours, and you still do them. And obviously, we can talk for hours and hours and hours and hours. This is going to be a part 2. I can see it coming. Just give us one of one of the best history of Derby, whether it's gruesome, whether it's funny, whether it's scary. Just give us one of your favourites, what you tell on the tour.
There's so much history to do with Derby. Unfortunately, walking around Derby now, there's not a lot of it to see, because they actually have knocked most of Derby down and replaced it with rubbish buildings. So there's not a lot of it left. But one I find more intriguing, and I don't know if this is classed as history, and I tell you now, we only found out about this in October of last year. This is a whole new piece of history, because there is a part of the Derby Ghost Walk that Richard stopped doing for a good 7 years, and we only just started it back. And we used to visit a place that was dubbed the Witch's Cottage, basically because it it's an old window that is bricked up, barred up, and has wooden slats across it. So whatever was meant to be in there was not allowed out. And Richard used to go down there just to show people the window. And then one day there were some staff members walking to that, and they went, "Oh, he's at the witch's cottage." So Richard stopped him and said, "Well, why'd you call it that?" And he says, "Oh, we'll only come down here in pairs or groups. None of us will walk down here at night on our own because there's scratching at the window and we keep hearing like cackling, like the likes to witches." So Richard, being Richard, oh, that's a good little story. We like that one. So they kept it going for a good part of 15 years, easy. And then, as I say, from October of last year, it was my tour. Someone was on that tour and they went, "I just know the people that have just taken over the building round the front of where we are. It's now a tattoo studio." And when they were stripping the walls down, because they wanted to reduce it back to its all original brick, they actually found mummified cats buried in the walls. Now, we all know, if you know anything about witchcraft, that's exactly what they used to do. So again, it was a made-up story that we made up about a witch's cottage. And literally that building looks like it actually housed witches. Jeez. So it's really cool. It's like a little bit of history. And apparently they've kept the cats in the walls because they don't want to disturb anything.
Well, this
so you can go,
evil, don't they?
You can go into this tattoo studio now and have a look at these apparently mummified cats that are in there. So it's really, really cool. History wise, I mean, we've got everything from 3 jails. And one of them used to be haunted. It doesn't exist anymore, but the old PC Moss story, if you guys have heard about the PC Moss, he was basically the first and only police officer to be killed in the line of duty in a police station. He was basically shot and wounded. It's a long story, so I won't go too far into it, but his ghost was meant to be seen there, but Richard actually raised awareness of this to the police force, and they didn't even know about this. And Richard raised a lot of money, and they actually put a plaque on the site to commemorate PC Moss. They found where he was buried, and his gravestone was completely dilapidated and fallen down. They erected a new tombstone for him, gravestone, and because he was not only in the police force, he was a Grenadier Guard as well. They put his badges on there, and since that day, no ghosts of policemen have ever been seen, but they used to be seen quite a lot around that area. So yeah, maybe, as they say, rest in peace and laid to rest and all that. He's finally been recognized, and now he's gone to a better place, so to speak. So yeah, so many. I mean, like you say, there could be part 2 and 3 with the ghost stories I've got about Derby. You've got the old bell. I've got so many stories to tell about the old bell, the jail itself, obviously, where base is. That's what we call base. Good old Blythe Simpson and me have a long history. Blythe Simpson is the longest serving jailer that haunts it, one of the jailers that haunts it. He's a cunning, devious, horrible old man, but I get on quite well with him, funnily enough. He actually plays jokes with me. So yeah, I've got many stories, but I don't know how long we've got left, so I'll leave it up to you guys.
Well, we've got a question just come through. Neil, do you want to read that?
I worked down the tunnels for over 10 years. The stories of the Rat Man, I could tell you, wouldn't make. I could got stories to tell that your hair curl. Plus, Mr. Felix was scared of his own shadow.
Right, we say that again, Neil. I don't think Wayne understood a word you just said.
Right. I worked down the tunnels for over 10 years. The stories of the Rat Man, I could tell you, would make your hair curl. Plus, Mr. Felix was scared of his own shadow.
Yeah, he is. We have set Richard up so many times. They're the best time we ever got Richard, and I'm really sorry. There's a warning now, people. Really foul language about to happen. So if there's kids watching, I really apologise. But this is word for word. We were at Dudley Castle, and I was on stage, done up again as a mannequin of almost like a lord and a king. I had a big mop hat on with a feather, and I had a sword in my hand and everything. We were on a stage with a red rope around it. Richard's there in his stereotypical long black raincoat thing, and he's telling a story, and there's someone in the crowd basically giving it the big one. like keeps interrupting him. So I thought there's only one way we're going to shut him up, and that's if I tell him to. So I leaped out my chair and held the sword up and went, "Will you shut up?" Apparently, Richard didn't know I was there. He honestly thought it, and he looked like Batman because he jumped over the red rope into the crowd, his coat flailed out like wings, and with the immortal words of Richard Felix, I'm really sorry, people, if there are kids watching, but he basically jumped into the ground and went, no, I'm not going to say it because it's not polite, but "You effing see," as he rushed into the crowd. It was, and luckily I had a shroud over my face, but I was in tears. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, we always try and set him up as and when it's appropriate. Do you know what I mean? There's a time and a place, but with Richard on the big events, we've got to get him at least once a night. Yeah. He's such a great character. He is such a lovely bloke, and we haven't always seen eye to eye. But that's friendship for you, I guess. You know, you don't always agree. But you know, I've as I say, 14 years of working with him. I've had some great experiences, and I hope I'm going to have some more. So if you do want to book on Ghost Walks, people, let me know. I do most of the city centre ones, and Richard does do one of the city centre, but I think it's once a month. He does a special one that he hosts it. The difference between Richard's tour and mine's more ghost stories and entertainment, when Richard's is more ghost stories and history, because Richard is like an encyclopedia.
Yeah,
he can remember everything from the day Jesus was, conceived. He can't remember where he's put his glasses, even though they're on his head. We always take the mickey out of him. He can't remember 5 minutes ago, but he can remember decades ago. He's a great guy. I love working for him, and like I say, I hope I've got many years left yet. So watch this space, because hopefully we've got some new stuff coming up soon.
Fantastic. I've got to ask you this question. A Facebook user, we don't know who it is, it says, I've actually been visited by the ghost of a pirate. What should I do, Wayne?
I don't know. Pour him a drink, I guess. Pour him a drink.
Brilliant. Yeah.
Pour him a drink. As we say, ghosts aren't there to scare you. They scare you because you don't know what they are and you're very unaware of what's going on around you. But they're not. Ghosts are ghosts. If it is a real ghost, it used to be a human, or she used to be a human at one point, and they're basically just making themselves known and probably got there to say hello. Yeah. So it is what it is. I have many different reasons to what is a ghost. Some of it scientific, some of it paranormal, some of it is in the mind and stuff like that. I believe if you are narrow-minded to think that ghosts are just dead people that haven't gone to their place up or down, then don't be narrow-minded. In my mind, paranormal can mean anything. It can be explained with science. It can be explained with the human mind and the brain and how that works. It might be the dead that haven't gone to another life. It could be that they don't want to move on, that they're there, they love where they are. It could be their home, so they're just there being at home. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. You've moved into their home, so why should they move on? Do you know what I mean? It's
true. This is very true.
I have many different beliefs, and I enjoy every single one of them. Theories are theories at the end of the day. We'll never know what ghosts are. Never.
Exactly. I totally believe that. We're going on to your shop, Wayne. Obviously, we could talk forever about Derby Jail and the Derby Ghost Tours. Like I say, we could have a part 2, part 3. But obviously, you're sat now in the captain's cabin.
I am.
At your table. And obviously, it's your business. And do you know what? I've only saw pictures, but I can't wait to visit it. Tell us about some of your items. And please tell us about your captain's table in your chest. And just the way it is, it sounds fantastic.
Well, this isn't actually the captain's table. I've literally made this just for the show. The captain's table is in the next room. But it is a proper big antique captain's table with parchments and waxed bottles and skulls and you name it all over it, and it is what it is. The shop itself, it kind of comes in three different sections. You've got the shop part, which is all, as I say, movie merchandise, some of it new, some of it old, some of it second hand, some of it third, fourth, some of it's from the 60s and stuff, some proper vintage stuff as well as the new stuff. And then you go halfway down and it basically turns into a pirate ship. So it darkens and everything becomes wooden, and you've got ship's wheels and treasure chests and flintlock pistols and swords on the walls, and it is that. And then you've got the workshops and the costume rooms in the back, and I have got a small photography studio as well that's in the back room that we sometimes use to just take stills of characters and that when we need to. So yeah, that's it in a nutshell.
And
but
obviously, you don't have a till, do you? You don't have a till.
No. People always question that. Do you take card? Nope. You know, if they need a receipt, I handwrite it. I literally have a small leather treasure chest even. Can't even say it a lot about this. It's that stuff. Treasure chest. Well, it's called Boozenboos, isn't it? Might as well get off it. Small treasure chest on the desk, which is basically I just open the lid and throw money in it. There's nothing technical about my shop at all. I've kept it as basic can be. And everyone goes, but how do you do that when it comes to tax returns? It's the easiest thing. I write all my sales down in a book, and the money goes in the till, and then it goes in the bank. So my tax, my what do you call it? I forgot what you bloody call them now. The guy that does all my books anyway, that person. I just give him my sales book with a list of everything I've sold in my bank account. Go, there you go. And it is that easy. It's like, I don't know why people have got all these PDA machines and tills half the time. Nah, I don't need it. I'm all right. I've got a cash machine literally outside the door. So if they do need to get cash out, it's there, look. So
brilliant. I love it, man.
It's brilliant. So Wayne, as quick as you can. I know it's quite hard because you do like to have a good natter. Can you tell everybody where they can find your shop, everything about where they can find to go on a ghost tour and the jail, and anybody who wants to find you for like a photo shoot or anything like
that? Well, obviously I've got all my Facebook pages and Instagram pages and TikTok pages and stuff. Like TikTok was a thing I didn't think I'd ever get involved with, but I actually quite enjoy it now. It's a good excuse to put a costume on and act like a loon. But yeah, if you want to find me for the shop is based in Derbyshire in a town called Heanor. There is a Facebook page for it, so just type in the Captain's Cabin Heanor or Movie Collectibles and it will come up on Facebook. Everything that we sell is on there. I make a big point of, the minute something comes in, take several pictures of it, and it goes straight on the page. You can write in, we do deliver. So if you can't get all the way here, then we will post it out to you, not a problem. We do PayPal and stuff like that. It's the only technical thing we do. And for characters, same again, it's just True Entertainment UK, and all our characters are on there. Again, pick which ones you want, write in, and we'll sort it out from there. But we do perform all over the country, literally. I have a great team of people. It's not just me. There's characters obviously I can't perform as, and I do have a great team of people with other characters that I do outsource, and they come and work for me for the day or whatever. And so we, like I said, anything from superheroes to horror, adult characters like Halloween proper ones like Freddy and Jason and Michael Myers and Leatherface, and all of them. They're all pretty much screen accurate as well. So we can do all that. Ghostbusters obviously is our new one. Then obviously we've got Pirates of the Caribbean. So we've got Davey. We've got, I'd say, the only one in the UK, but it's not. There are a couple of guys that do Davy Jones, but I'm the only one with this particular get out where I've got a full silicon head that was cast and molded to my spec. And it's literally, I wish I could go, it's literally over there. I could go and get him and show you in a bit. But phenomenal. So we do all that as well. And again, I've linked with other entertainment companies, so we can supply stilt walkers, fire eaters, all that sort of stuff as well. So pretty much everything.
Bloody brilliant, man.
In a bloody nutshell there, people. In a nutshell, please go and check. Wayne, if you could pop the links on our page, that'd be fantastic. And we'll plug it away as much as we can, pal. But now you can take a breather, because every week, well, every couple of weeks, I tell a story called Orange Spills the Juice, which is this right here. Now, him here is the clumsiest person in the world, and he's the unluckiest person in the world, and he's daft to boot as well. I can tell you that. So I've said that many stories, but I found another one, and this actually happened because I was bloody there. So I'm going to tell it. This one is called the Primark incident. Now, we was getting ready to go to Paracom. I think it was 2020, 2021, something like that, just before COVID. It might have been 2019. I can't remember. It don't matter. And it was a voodoo night. So we thought, we'll go and get some cheap black tops, basically. So we walked into Primark in Merry Hill, or Merry Hell, as people call it. And I'm shopping around. I've got a top, fits me perfect, exactly what I'm looking for. I've tried to find him. Can't find him anywhere. So I'm going through all the racks of clothes and all this, that, and the other, gone around the little walkway, and there I see him, and he's got his back to me. And as he turns round, he's got a top what somehow goes all the way down there, just above the nipple line. And I've gone, Neil, what on earth are you wearing? And I looked up, and he was in the woman's section, and he was wearing a blouse. And the woman next looked at me, it was obviously worked there. She looked at me and mouthed, "What the fuck's he doing?" Neil was stood there wearing a black blouse. And I looked at him, I thought, Neil, this is just sums you up. It just sums you up. I can't believe it. It was hilarious. But that was a little quick orange spills of juice.
I know what it was.
What was it, Neil?
I don't know what was going on in my head.
Yeah.
We never do.
We never do.
No, I was going to say no one does. But...
I didn't realise I was in the women's section until I looked up and saw the big sign, and I just wondered why. It was like
there was pants, there was bras, there was everything. You know, there's little unicorn T-shirts and Hello Kitty. But I'll put a blouse on anyway.
I did. I look like a odd dickhead.
Wayne, have you heard of Room 101?
Yes, I certainly have. I still watch it, to be honest. I still watch it to this day. Good old Frank Skinner.
Yeah, brilliant. Rest in peace, Frank. I know he's not dead, but we don't see him anymore.
Peace,
and you know what I mean? Well, this is going to be your paranormal room 101, Wayne. You can put 2 items into the room out of the paranormal field, which is going to be banished forever. Could be equipment, people, TV shows, or just anything to do with the paranormal. What is going in your paranormal room 101?
Most of the paranormal toys that people use that they think can catch or find ghosts. That's definitely going in there.
Examples?
I don't know what's the name for the thing that shoots out the temperature sensor with the laser. The red laser.
I use one of them in the kitchen.
Yeah, they have never worked as far as ghost hunting. They will never work and never have worked, and they are complete. I don't know who thought of that idea. Oh, it's finding the temperature of a ghost. No, it's not. It's finding a temperature of the wall that it's hitting. And the reason it's changing temperature is because you're wobbling it and that wall's getting warmer. So we all know that them red lasers can only tell the temperature of something solid that it hits. That's it. So yeah, that's that kind of toy to me is just it's just I don't get it. Don't get it. It should be binned.
Yeah. In room 101, it's gone in there. And one more, please, Wayne.
That was my impression of 101. Another one. We have, I might get shot down for this, a term at Derby Ghost Tours, and it was actually given to me by Ed Felix, and that is wee-woes. Wee-woes should be put into room 101. Now, the definition of a wee-woe is someone that rocks from side to side, going, everything is ghostly. Everything is ghostly. I've seen a ghost. And it's like, you know, it's a ghost. Bang, it's a ghost. It's like wee-woes that believe that everything that happens is a ghost. Should go into 101.
Wee-woes or wowies, whatever you want to call them, they're in. They've got
they're in. They're in. Thank you.
Now, I'd like to go into this little section here. It's called Skeletons in the Closet, Wayne. Now, he's got skeletons. I've got skeletons. Is he starting to sweat? Yeah, we've all got skeletons.
If there's anyone that knows me on this podcast right now, they're laughing their tits off right now. But
So everyone's got one your skeleton. Do you have a secret skill, a party piece, a guilty pleasure, or something that many people don't know about you? Wayne, what is your skeleton that's coming out the closet this evening?
Right, I'm going to keep it clean.
That's a first.
But there is a skeleton, and to be honest, it's only just started to come out of the closet because a friend of mine saw a video of me doing this thing. This sounds weird already, doesn't it? And their eyes lit up and went, I had no idea you could do that. And I was like, I've been doing it for 35 years. But like, you know how you move from circles of friends? So the old circle of friends that I used to do this thing with,
Yeah.
I then moved on and on and on, and I started pirating and cosplaying and doing. And so I stopped doing this thing. And that is, I was a semi-professional freestyle roller skater.
Yeah, brilliant.
So I've just started up again, and we've actually, I can't go too much into detail. It's a bit hush hush at the minute, but there's a new thing that we're starting up as we speak to do with roller skating and what have you. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's something I am getting back into. Even at 48 years old, I get told by the old school crews that I've still got it. So I'm like, well, if I've still got it, I'm still doing it.
Fair
So
play,
that's been
fair
kind
play.
of skeleton stroke party piece, kind of two things there. So yeah, I'm a bit of a dancer and a roller skater on the quiet. But yeah,
Can you get Neil into some roller skates when we come up to Derby?
I'm sure we can.
Do I have to wear them leg warmers, Wayne?
You can wear whatever you want. I got a leotard if you want one.
Not going to fit me.
Neil, can you just put these things
Yeah.
up before we move on to the last section?
I have done.
So while Neil's putting these little comments up, Wayne, I've got a quick fire 10 for you because believe it or not, we have done.
Hi, Lauren. That's right. I've just noticed Lauren Jones is on. I know her. Hi.
We've,
Anyway,
we've done nearly 53 minutes, so we've only got 7 minutes remaining. It's gone like that. So, Neil, are you done?
I've got another 2 hours left of me yet, guys. So come on.
Well, that's what I mean. We'll have to do a part 2 and a part 3.
Yeah, we will. I'll do the next one in costume if you like.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We could do it live from your shop.
Oh, hang on. Someone's calling me. Bear with me. I'm just going to decline it. It's off. Right, there you go.
We could do the next one live from the cabin.
Yeah, we could all do it. You guys come up. We'll do it together.
Fantastic. Just make sure you got that bottle with you.
Oh, I will.
So this little section here, Wayne, it's called Wayne's Quick Fire 10. It's simple. All you do is answer yes or no, and then we may pick apart some of your answers after the 10, if that's okay.
That's fine by me.
Are you ready, Neil?
I'm ready.
Are you ready in the chat room? Are you ready, Wayne? And sat there in the cabin?
I'm ready.
Oh no, it's like
Gladiators.
It's like gladiators in it.
John Sachs here. John Small.
Ghostbusters ready.
Wayne, this is your quick fire 10.
Go for it.
Number 1. Remember, just yes or no. Number 1. Is Richard Felix the Gandalf of the paranormal?
Yes.
2. Are the Ouija boards a way to contact the dead?
Only because of personal experiences, yes.
3. Is a succubus better than a Vengabus?
I can't. You can't beat a good succubus. I'm sorry.
That's the first one.
That's you're the first one who's not answered on the Vengabus.
No, I'm not into Vengabuses. I'll have a good succubus any day.
I know. Number 4. Can an object carry an attachment?
I believe so, yes.
Number 5. You can answer this if you want. Should Most Haunted be renamed Most Faked?
Yes.
Number 6. Are aliens already amongst us?
Definition of amongst us, I'll say, yeah, they're definitely there. I don't know if they're amongst us, but they're around. Yeah.
Number 7. I always stop fingers when I come to 7 because I can't be asked anymore. Number 7. Would Jack Sparrow take Russell Crowe in an aerial battle?
I think he would. Jack's used to swinging around on ropes where Gladiator never did that. So yeah, I'd
Number 8. Should I said cack balls then?
Wow.
Should cat balls ever be used in spirit communication?
Should what?
Should cat balls?
What the hell are cat balls?
It's a little ball what a cat plays with, and it likes.
Oh right, got you. I was thinking testicles, but right, okay.
Should cat
Swing
balls?
left for yes, swing right for no.
That's pretty good. Yes or no?
I don't see why not. Yeah, I think.
We're not on about them ones.
No, I know. I think the balls.
Yeah.
If you believe in poltergeist activity and that spirits can move stuff, then yeah, I suppose. Yeah, balls.
Number 9. Would you? Well, you probably already have. Would you spend a night alone at Derby Jail?
I have done many times. So yes, I absolutely love the place.
And number 10, your last of your quick fire 10, Wayne. Do spirits walk amongst us?
Well, from the stories I've already told you tonight, yes, I would like to say yes.
It's as simple as that. Oh, Neil, I forgot. Wayne, I've got a bonus question for you.
Ooh.
Bonus question, first time ever on the quick fire 10. Would you join paralytic activities on a haunted pub crawl around Derby?
Oh, I don't know. I'd have to think about that one. Yes.
Nice one. Yes.
Absolutely.
Will do for me, pal. You will do for me.
I will definitely join you guys with some stories as well. We'll go on like a pub crawl and a bit of a history tour and some ghost stories along the way, and I can tell you everything I know.
Yeah.
Who knows? Even Richard might join us. I'll ask him.
Do you know at the old Bell Inn hotel?
Yep.
Have they still got that really old, massive fireplace next door?
In the Tudor bar, yeah.
Oh, that's amazing, Neil. You got to check that out. That's perfect. In there to sit there with a couple of mugs of ale or a gin, and swap some ghost stories. That'd be fantastic.
It'd be great if they would let us in. Yeah.
Oh, why don't they not let people in?
It's politics and a little bit of bullshit came into the Bell, and unfortunately, they might let me in. But yeah, there was a bit of politics with Richard. To be honest, they were meant to be turning the Bell into a hotel again. Yeah. So they told us we can't go in there because they're renovating it now. And then the renovations never happened. Then apparently the guy was selling it. Then he's not selling it. Now they're still not renovating it, but apparently we're not allowed in still. So I don't know. The Tudor bar's still there, and they still open it. So there's nothing stopping us from going in there for a drink, I guess. So
fantastic. We'll organise it. Don't you worry, Wayne. We've got 2 minutes left. I'm just going to say...
John. I'm going to ask you.
Oh, go on then. Go for it, Neil.
Wayne, could you show us that Davy Jones thing you was going to show us?
Oh, I've got 2 minutes. Yeah, bear with me 1 second. It's literally just round the corner here.
You know it's not Davy Jones off the Monkeys, don't you? It's not him.
I don't know.
Last chance of transfer, and I'll meet you at the station.
Maracas.
Yeah, get them to yourself.
I'll have to blow the candles out so I don't set myself on fire.
I hope you're not on fire, Wayne.
No.
Yeah. Can you see that?
Jesus.
That's amazing. Brilliant.
So we just literally yesterday designed and finished making a pipe. Well, a good friend of mine's done it. So we've made the Davy Jones pipe, and out of this little tentacle here, you actually blow smoke out of it. So when we smoke the pipe, the smoke actually comes out through one of the tentacles as well. So it's really cool. So I don't know if you can right over.
That's brilliant.
Obviously, it's got a hat and everything on normally.
Yeah, that's superb.
I'm sure I've just seen one of them on the fish stall in Morrison's.
Anyway, Wayne, I just want to quickly say thank you for coming on, pal. We'll definitely do this again, and we'll definitely organise some. If you just stay in the chat room when we say our goodbyes, and we'll have a chat after. Thank you to everybody in the chat room. Please share it with your friends, share it with your enemies, and you will do for us. So, Neil, any last thoughts?
You know, John, I'm just I've really enjoyed this show.
Yeah.
You know,
Brilliant.
so interesting, man. I love all stuff like this.
Wayne, we'll chat you in a bit. Thank you, pal. We'll see you in a bit. So there you go, Neil. That was fantastic. That's the quietest I've been since Andy King at Guyscliffe in 2 years ago. That's the quietest I've been.
Johnny,
and he's got hundreds and hundreds of stories. Absolutely fantastic guest. Wayne, kudos, pal. Neil,
superb.
Our next show next week is supposed to be Andy Moore from Smedley Mats.
Oh.
So hopefully we're going to get him on. If not, our next show will be Nick Stepani, which is going to be maybe our last live for a while. Because we're going to start doing podcasts. So there you go. Neil, we've got to wrap up now. If anybody's out investigating this weekend and you don't get any spirits, just please do what we do. We'll drink them instead.
I must admit, Patricia, that's a funny comment. Eh?
That's what we all look like after a pub crawl.
I
can tell you that. You'll do for me. See you next week, hopefully. If not, we'll see you in 2.
God bless you.